happen as we get those forms in. I hope that share price does respect the work that you guys are putting in, and I hope that happens sooner rather than later. So are you considering adding board members yet at this point?
Well, as part of the Houdini deal, they'll be they can add a person to the board, and I think we'd like to add one more to have at least 4 people on the board. So yes, we want to add more people to the board.
Okay. All right. Good. Do you think are you concerned about losing SEC status?
No, not at all. Once the filings are up to date shortly, that'll negate any chance of that happening.
Okay. Has there been any, and this is, I'm just going to be frank here. Has there been any selling of shares or any convertible notes that have been converted? Like, has there been any of that going on whatsoever?
Okay. I need to be clear. I'm going to lean forward a little bit. Igpk has sold exactly 0 shares to raise money. None. The company has sold no shares. We've not entered into any convertible notes. We haven't sold any preferred shares. All convertible instruments. When did we canceled them all? Oh, on December 31st of 2019, all convertible instruments were extinguished. I have not sold. I have not given away any of my preferred shares. And this will all be proved out in the 10K. You know, everything in the 10Q once filed. And the shares issued to me were, you know, for the IR contract and preferred stock conversions the company received. And to calm all fears, none of these shares were issued to that gentleman, Mr. Dwyer. It has nothing to do with it. So it's all there. In fact, the shares, I'm trying to remember, of the shares issued, all but 100 million are being held by the TA. And that 100 million, I see each week, you know, you get that security position report that we get from the DTC, not one, 0, not one of those shares have been sold. Those are the only 100 million sitting out there. That's it. I'm trying to think. I got a list here. I got a list here of all the things, and I don't think there's.
Well, thanks for clearing that up.
You know, all the daily selling they're seeing, that's shareholders, traders, those wonderful algorithms, you know, market makers like Citadel that caused the drop in price. It has nothing to do with us. We have moved no shares. Believe me, we haven't moved any shares. And that's why when you talk about that, you know, 0.02 price point, I'm waiting. I'm not going to short sell my own company.
Yeah.
You know, it's insane.
Yeah.
It's insane. I won't do it. I just refuse. I will not do it. The company is worth more than that.
Right on. You know what? And thanks for clearing that up. We do have a question from Michael Singleton. This is the question here. He says, I know you can't talk specifics, but what other acquisitions are you looking at getting into? So is there anything you want to share as to what you're getting into?
We'll probably, there's no reason to change, stay in the 2 areas we're in apparel and in marijuana. I don't think we need anything in marijuana right now, except possibly additional delivery or things like that. We won't want to drill any higher into the market in terms of your retail or anything like that. You know, and tomorrow, of course, a retailer will call me, but you know, that's the way it is. As far as Consolidated is concerned, we're looking hard at acquisitions. We don't want to get into the t-shirt business. We want to be in the value add sector always. I don't want to be, you know, there is no way I'm bringing all of our shareholders into a situation where we're stepping over dollars to pick up pennies. So we've been looking at embroidery. I am definitely interested in, and we're talking to the landlord now because there has to be some modifications to the building to call something called direct to film in, which would be great. And that's apparel based. And then, of course, there's the Bahamas, which are super exciting. You know, we really haven't touched base on those, but the Bahamas, you know, and I plan on getting back there in June or July. If the Bahamas work, and they certainly should, we will be able to manufacture apparel over there. Not only will the government help support it, they've already got the school system. You know, they have a trade school that is willing to train employees for us. The labor rate in the Bahamas is about 50% of what it is in the USA. And where we would be doing this is a free trade zone. So we should be able to move finished garments back to the US.
That's very interesting because that you could probably get even government subsidies or something like that to have partnerships. Because I work in the education field, and so the business that comes in that works oftentimes with these vocational centers, they get a handsome amount of money from government subsidies. The school gets it, and then they allocate it to the businesses that they're partnering with. So that's actually a very wise thing. So
no, that's an exciting one. The Bahamas are really exciting. I'm going to go over there in June or July. I've been over there before and talk with them and start really nailing this thing down. I want to get all of this settled down so that everybody and all the shareholders can get excited with me and go over there. And then we'll have some big announcements when we come back.